light and darkness crisscross. It got my crew pissed off. It's like my wrist off. I'm writing rhymes till time hits for my mind is a pure menace.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Grave, and today we're going to be talking about Dragon Ball Super episode 114. Now, not sure if we're just going to get into a review or my impressions of the episode. Kind of testing out doing impressions first and leaving reviews for later, because I think that I'm better serving you if I'm giving you my impressions and my opinions of what's happening in Super or whatever I'm talking about at the present moment, instead of trying to review it in a video form. That takes just a little bit more nuance, a little bit more work, and right now I don't have everything I feel like I need skill set wise to do proper reviews. So yeah, I think I answered my own question. I think we're gonna just do an impression and go from there. So yeah, episode 114 of Dragon Ball Super. A divisive episode, to say the least. For me, being a fan, I fucking loved it. I thought it was hype. I think that what we're seeing here is something that, if we were looking at it through little kid lenses, like if I was 12, 13 again, watching this episode, it would have blown my mind. Like, I wouldn't have thought about, like, well, how come Caulifla and Kale can rock with Goku? You know, they shouldn't be able to stand up to him power-wise, and yada, yada, yada. Like, I understand that Dragon Ball Super has valid criticisms that can be levied against it as far as power scaling and just certain characters being able to you know, fight, I mean, what we consider the strongest characters in our universe, and actually put up a decent fight. First of all, I have to say, I'm loving the Tournament of Power. I'm loving Caulifla and Kale. I'm loving this whole dynamic that the Universe 6 and Universe 7 Saiyans are having. That whole dynamic that they have with each other is, I think, something that we needed. I think it's something that makes Dragon Ball Super a little bit unique, because it gives people this talking point where it's like, well, how come the Universe 6 Saiyans, they can already go Super Saiyan 2 when our Universe 7 Saiyans, it took us years and years to be able to get to this point. But I think that a lot of people for Neverworld especially are making a decent point that we have to think about the timeline inside of Dragon Ball. We think of it as our timeline because, you know, we're watching it, and like he said, he tweeted out, he was like, you know, to a lot of people, Goku vs. Jiren happened a month ago, you know, but inside Dragon Ball Super, Goku vs. Jiren only happened like 5 to 10 minutes ago. So you have to take that into consideration when we're talking about watching Goku versus Caulifla and Kale, and how just simply savage Goku is to be able to get, I mean, a little bit of energy from Frieza and still be able to manage to hold them off, and they're at full strength, full stamina. Goku is barely standing, and he's putting in work against two people that, for all intents and purposes, when they team up, are almost unstoppable. I really believe that if we just try to enjoy Super, and I'm not saying give it a pass, but just try to enjoy it for what it is, I think that we can start, taking our expertise of what we know about Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball, and start massaging our fandom opinions in. Because for me, the way that I justify what's going on is I look at it as, Universe 7 Saiyans, like, they were, for all intents and purposes, they were slaves. Frieza enslaved their race. Goku got away because he was sent to Earth and ultimately bumped his head, but I mean, they were slaves. They were used for basically universal domination by Frieza, and they only embraced their raw savagery as almost kind of like a survival instinct. It was their way of kind of using what authority they had to make it in the universe. And it's very apparent with Vegeta. Like, Vegeta is a pure blood authentic Saiyan from Universe 7, and a lot of what he does is bravado. It is I think he is maybe anxious a little bit. He wants to always prove to be the best, and that has a lot to do with his upbringing. Whereas when you see Universe 6 Saiyans, I mean, essentially, they're heroes. They still have their home planet. They still have each other. They still get to, they let their Saiyan instincts kind of dwindle a little bit. Now, I know Kaba is a little different, and I don't really like Kaba, but Caulifla and Kale are, kind of bandits in a way. Like, they're not going with the, they're not conforming to what their universe is saying that they should be. But even then, their instinct, they never thought about, their power being able to grow exponentially as it did. So, as it did with Kaba when Vegeta showed him what a Super Saiyan was. That ability, that power was never something that I thought in my head that they were thinking about trying to obtain. They were just living day to day. They didn't have to, scratch and fight just to have a place in the universe. Once Planet Vegeta is gone, there is no place for the Saiyans to call home. They are nomadic and they just move, and they have to always be at the height of their aggression to succeed. And I think that always having to be at a razor sharp's edge, defined our Saiyans in Universe 7, where it didn't define the Saiyans in Universe 6. So at first I was like a lot of other people out there, where I was fighting against, like, how are they attaining these powers so quickly? But I look at it and it's like, it's base instinct. It is their instinct to be able to have the potential to amass ki, to amass power. So when they are shown this incredible technique, it is almost within their blood, within their cells, to be like, wow, I can do that too. And it's instant. Like, wow, okay, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's not the best explanation, but I'm just saying there are ways around being like, always trying to be negative about, well, how can they gain this power? How can they stand up to Goku? How can Kale tank a Super Saiyan Blue Kamehameha? Like, all those things, I think that we're trying way too hard to make it all fit in a neat little box, and I don't think that's what Super is about. I think Super is really, it's in the name. It's Super. Like, it's supposed to literally be a fucking an always in your face, like, let's go, fucking always in your face, trying to top the next thing and top the last thing, and you know, it's like Dragon Ball Z on steroids, and where it pulls from Dragon Ball is the comedy aspect, the more, you know, laid back, making jokes. You know, I think that we are trying so hard to really justify everything, and from my point of view, we don't have to do that to enjoy this show. The episode as a whole, to me, was amazing. The last 2 episodes as a whole were, to me, Dragon Ball Super really starting to ramp up and go somewhere that we have been waiting for it to go. Goku and Jiren, that was the start of it. I mean, I've been waiting for these fights to pick up and get way more intense, and we are finally here. We are finally here, and I think that we should really hold on for a little bit before we start, you know, kind of just trying to, you know, nitpick and attack each other. Like, we just need to relax and let the show be what it is. And in my opinion, like, let's be completely honest, like, if you watch Dragon Ball Z and even Dragon Ball to a certain extent, if you watch those 2 shows, I mean, they're not reinventing the wheel storytelling wise. You know what I mean? Storytelling wise, they're not reinventing the wheel. What they did and why they're so influential, and why we wouldn't have series like Naruto and One Piece, and you know, why we wouldn't have shows like that, is because what Dragon Ball brought to the table was insane, intense, over the top action that people weren't used to seeing. And I feel like we're getting that again. We are getting that again. And I think, you know, I've been spoiled by animes like Naruto and One Piece that have really in-depth stories with a ton of character development and stuff like that. We try to project that onto Dragon Ball Super, and it's just not going to work like that. I don't see Dragon Ball Super getting, you know, getting these layers and layers and layers of character development and things like that. It doesn't, I don't see it in that way. And if you disagree, that's fine. But I'm saying, like, if you disagree with me, instead of trying to jump down my throat to show your fandom, just, why can't we have a conversation? You know, why can't we have a conversation? Because I am thoroughly enjoying Dragon Ball Super, and it seems like every week, not on the internet, but just in my, you know, squads that I move around in my day-to-day life, I'm constantly having to defend why I love Dragon Ball Super. And while it sharpens, you know, my arguments for why I love it, I think that some people just get really into having to try to tear people down that are enjoying it, because we want the next greatest thing. We want everything to be mind-numbingly amazing, and I don't think that we need to attack each other to put our opinions out there. So yeah, just simply my impressions, just simply my opinion. They're ramping up and they're ready to start giving the fans the spectacle that I think we deserve, and I'm in. I'm all in right now. I enjoy the shit out of Dragon Ball Super. I appreciate, and I think I appreciate and accept anyone's criticisms and anyone's problems that they have with the show. But as it stands right now, this show is giving what I want. Another quick thing that I've been noticing that I really am loving is I love how Caulifla is almost a mirror or a look into what Goku would have been like if he never hit his head on Earth and he was there to complete his mission. I really think that Caulifla and Goku are very similar in terms of who they are as Saiyans. So the fact that she has like almost limitless potential means a great deal, because obviously she is essentially the Goku of Universe 6, which is, I mean, I think that's fucking awesome, and I think that we need more of them. Like, I don't know, obviously Universe 7 is going to win this tournament, unless there's some, nonsense where, they weren't going to actually destroy the universes, or the ones that they got rid of were already, they had planned to, get rid of those universes, and the ones that are still intact, they remain. We don't know, but I mean, clearly I feel like Universe 7 is going to win this tournament somehow. I mean, it's Dragon Ball Super. How are they not? I really hope that we can somehow find a way to integrate Universe 6 and Universe 7 in the next arc, so that we can get more of the Universe 6, 7 Saiyan camaraderie going, because it's just nice. It's nice to see, and it's fun, and I love watching them go at it. But yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, I understand power scaling, and just optically there's a little bit of what the fuck, like that doesn't make, it doesn't make sense. How is Kefla completely outclassing Super Saiyan God Goku, like God mode Goku? Like, what? Like, how? Let them explain it to us, and then let us formulate our own opinion around it, just like we did in Dragon Ball Z. Just like we did in Dragon Ball, just like we did in Dragon Ball GT, which I know we don't really like Dragon Ball GT and we don't talk about it a lot, but I know everybody around my age, we all watched it though. And I know that there was a lot of leaps of faith that we took to watch Dragon Ball GT. And, like, let's give it that chance. Let's give it that amount of space to work with, instead of trying to pick at every single thing, and instead of trying to fight every single person that says that they enjoy it, or scream at every single person that says it's trash. Like, if you don't like it, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, you are entitled to that opinion as well, but don't shit on people that do, and vice versa, guys. Like I think we need to really bring that down a little bit, because we can't let our fandom in the way of having new people join the conversation, because people see this and they don't want to join the conversation because they don't want to get fucking dogpiled. So we need to relax. Dragon Ball Super is fucking awesome. I can't wait for next week's episode. I can't wait to see what liberties are taken from Dragon Ball Super when it comes to the new Dragon Ball games. Fighters, i.e. fucking Xenoverse 3, all that. Like, I can't wait to see all those things. It's gonna be a fun ride, guys. I think we're in. Strap in, because we're in for a treat. So that's all Grave has to say about it. That's all my impressions in a nutshell. If you think I'm wrong or you have something to add to what I say, down in the comments, because that's where I want to see it. That's where I'll be. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. I appreciate anyone that's been with me since the beginning. We gotta grow, and that's my main goal here. So like, share, and subscribe. Let people know that Grave is out here. He's doing his thing, and we're talking about Dragon Ball Super and a whole bunch more here on Grave TV. I appreciate y'all. Have a good one. Grave is out. Peace.